In today's video, I want to talk about how to find 12-volt charging power on your 7-way on your Ford trucks. This is a 2020 F450. The engine is running. Right here, we can see our pinout reads that our charging wire should be our top right plug. So we've confirmed that our test light is working. I've got the flashers turned on and we can see 14 volts here for our flashers. It's flashing 14, 14, 14. But when we touch our always hot or our hot wire for our charging circuit, we're getting nothing. So what's going on? What gives? What is happening here? Why don't we charge? We want to charge. We want to charge our trailer. Why not charge it? So if you're chasing this down, it will drive you crazy. If you're trying to figure out why your trailer won't charge, the reason is most likely if your fuses aren't blown, if nothing's wrong with the truck. You've got to check some fuses under the hood, but chances are it's just not charging because these trucks do not send 12 volts back to the trailer until it detects that the trailer has a battery and that it detects a brake operation from the truck. It's been put in drive, it's had its brake pedal hit, and it's ready to go. Now, how do I know this? On my trailers, there's a GPS unit, and it's using this circuit. Where it's at, I can't say. It's hidden in every trailer. Dump trailer, enclosed trailer, you name it. They're all hidden inside of the trailer. And they're basically automotive trackers that nobody's ever going to find because they're hidden in a very, very, very discreet place. But in order for them to work, when I was hooking everything up, I would always struggle with why can't I get this to charge when the key is on, when the engine's running, when it won't charge. It just won't until the truck sees that the trailer has a battery, till the truck sees that the trailer brakes have applied and the truck has been put in drive and moved just a little bit. Some people even say that they hold the brake controller down for a few seconds and it will allow the 12 volts to get sent to the back. From my experience, though, the only time the brake signal or the charge signal gets sent to the back of this pin is when the truck's put in drive, driven for just a couple feet, and the brakes have been applied. Then it will send the power charging to the back. So just simply plugging in the plug, from my experience, from the readings of my GPS, plugging in the plug doesn't do it. It wants to be in drive, then it wants a brake application and to roll just at least a foot or so, and then it will work. Why is that? I'm not sure why they did that. It's the way it's programmed. It kind of is what it is. And I was even messing around with the 7.3, trying to get it to work, and it just won't really send that 12 volts back until it sees that a trailer's hooked up, the trailer has a battery, the trailer needs to be charged, and then it knows. Maybe it has something to do with fuses being blown unnecessarily. I know they had some issues with this plug, getting water and salt and having erroneous trailer connection faults. At least the old style plug had those issues. This style plug, when it's on the bumper and water builds up in the bed of the truck and it hits this plug, it will get moisture in it and inadvertently need to get cleaned out because water and different corrosive materials will get in there. Whereas this new style plug with the new design, and this also has our hookup for Ford cameras and stuff like that, but this new plug does not allow as much any water in it because it's facing the other way. But aside from that, maybe the reason they did this is because they didn't want it to short circuit that higher voltage circuit, perhaps. I don't know. We do have action from our other circuits. We have our turn signals and our stop lights and all that stuff. So if you wanted to have a stoplight circuit, this stoplight circuit is a actual circuit that's actually hot at all times. Same with the turn signals. It's just at 12 volts. It's not present until the truck has determined that certain conditions have been met and it is an appropriate time to send voltage to the trailer. Now this has been an issue for a lot of owners because they want to know why their electric trailer jacks are not working and are not jacking up the truck. Now, for that situation, what I would say is, if you have an electric trailer jack, you should get a battery to power that jack, because I think the amount of draw that you might get from that jack could potentially blow the fuse anyway for the circuit, even if it did work, because this is a good charging circuit, but it's not a good surge circuit. Now, the amount of voltage and amperage and everything that you get from this circuit is great. It'll even charge a dump trailer battery over, I don't know, an hour to a couple hours a day, whatever. If it has time to really work on it, it's putting out 14 volts. It will charge a battery, but the surge that comes from one of those devices, like a trailer jack, depending on how big that thing is, some of these electric trailer jacks can be 12,000 pound jacks. That, in my opinion, might be too much for the circuit anyway, and it could have even caused that circuit to pop, or you could have a blown fuse if you were trying to do that with this circuit. What I would recommend, if the trailer doesn't have a battery, get a battery tray, a small battery tray. It could even be like a battery that goes in a lawnmower or something like that, but have that power the trailer jack, and then wire in the charging circuit to charge, so that the truck will in turn recharge that battery, and that battery would actually provide the surge to power that jack. And if you think about the size of the wiring going back here, the wiring connecting to this hookup is not that heavy gauged to run heavy equipment. For example, our dump trailer, we would not try to dump our dump trailer with this wiring. The battery does that, and this wiring just charges up the battery. So that is kind of my 2 cents there. But the reason that you're not getting 12 volts back here on the Fords is because the truck hasn't determined that it's necessary. Now, for those who want the 12 volts anyway, I do wonder if there is a way that you could put an upfitter switch into this circuit to provide the 12 volts straight to that circuit, and what kind of interference would that make? If you had 12 volts going to that circuit, would it say trailer fault? It might say trailer wiring fault. It might say, who knows, it might even short something out, but it shouldn't, because it's not out of the ordinary for the trailer to be connected just directly to a 12 volt source. If you hook up a trailer, that wire is directly going to the battery of the trailer. So for whatever reason, when this plug senses that battery is connected, and it also had a application of the brakes, and it's been put in drive and all this other stuff, that's the point when it will activate the charging of this, and it will stay charging even when the vehicle is put back in park. It just, for whatever reason, it won't start charging until certain parameters have been met. But I am curious if an upfitter switch could possibly be used, or would that be an issue? But anyway, that's it for today's video. My name is Sean. This is DS Trucks. If you're having problems out of your charging circuit, try this first. I know it's kind of hard. I know if you're measuring it, it could be very complicated to try to get that reading. The only way to actually see your reading, if you want to see it, if you really want to see it, then you need to hook up a trailer with a battery, do the whole process of putting it in drive, applying the brakes, putting it back in park, and then before you unplug it, you have to probe the wire. That's basically what I did to prove that I'm actually getting the circuit. I was able to probe the wire, but everything has to still be connected. That's why it's hard to find the 12 volts in that pin. But anyway, my name is Sean. This is DS Trucks. See you guys in the next video. Over and out.